When you look at the Democrats, they didn't do it with Obama. That's true. Okay?
Didn't do what?
They greased the skids. This is the person we want. It's her turn. It was Hillary's turn in 2016. All right, Biden.
Well, that's not Obama. Obama earned it.
No, that's why I said he earned it. But in 2016, and I'm not even trying to imply.
They voted. Hillary ran in the primaries.
I'm not even trying to imply that she. But remember, they were complaining that Bernie Sanders had some momentum and was compromised by the Democratic Party because they were saying it was Hillary's turn.
Bernie Sanders, I love him, but he's too far left, and he would have been a bigger disaster than Kamala was.
That's fine. Your ass was going to be 82 years old in the White House. Come on now. And then I'll never forget this. Bill, I swear to you, I love your show, Real Time. I'm a huge fan. I watch it every chance I get. I have never.
Stephen A. Smith is next to go on Bill Maher's podcast, the Club Random Podcast, and absolutely destroy Bill Maher for his ridiculous woke talking points. You know it's bad whenever Stephen A. Smith, who is notoriously woke, and he works for CNN, which is under Disney, or sorry, not CNN, ESPN, same thing. It's all the same thing. Basically, the CNN sports sector at this point because of how woke ESPN has become. But he works for ESPN. He's extremely woke. And he's even going on Bill Maher's podcast and absolutely torching him for the woke views that he holds. Let's get into this clip here where Stephen A. Smith feeds Bill Maher a red pill live on his own show.
Conservatives want in the White House, okay? That's who they supported. They didn't give a damn about 34 indictments. They didn't give a damn about 2 impeachments. They didn't give a damn about all the legal issues and the lawfare that the Democrats engaged in. They said, Joe, that's who we want. This is the difference, and I said this to a lot of people, Bill. The conservatives said, we want that guy. That's who we want. And the voters decided who the Republican nominee is going to be. When you look at the Democrats, they didn't do it with Obama. That's true. Okay?
Didn't do what?
They greased the skids. This is the person we want. It's her turn. It was Hillary's turn in 2016. All right, Biden.
Well, that's not Obama. Obama earned it.
No, that's why I said he earned it. But in 2016, and I'm not even trying to imply.
They voted. Hillary ran in the primaries.
I'm not even trying to imply that she. But remember, they were complaining that Bernie Sanders had some momentum and was compromised by the Democratic Party because they were saying it was Hillary's turn. Bernie
Sanders, I love him, but he's too far left, and he would have been a bigger disaster than Kamala was.
That's fine. But what I'm saying to you is, still in all, Bill, what I would, it's rare that I disagree with you. What I'm saying is, the only thing I will push back on is, that's fine, but that's for the voter to decide.
Right.
And a lot of times, the Democratic Party seems as if they've got their claws in the mix. Take Biden, for example. Okay.
By the way, this is not new. Like, this is 100% true what Stephen A. Smith is telling Bill Maher right now. This is what the Democratic Party does. Like, this is 100% what they do. It's like somebody, and I'm not going to say names or anything, but you probably could guess. It's like somebody is really pulling the strings behind the scenes. And whenever they decide it's somebody's turn, like Stephen A. Smith is saying, everybody else drops out at once. The same thing happened with Joe Biden. Whenever everybody decided on the Democratic side that it's Joe Biden's turn to run against Donald Trump, everybody dropped out like the same day because they all got the call from the same person, the same group of people, and they're like, hey, you need to drop out or else. And they say, okay. It didn't even seem like Kamala Harris wanted to run for president. It didn't even seem like she wanted to win. It's almost like she was forced to do it because the forces that were above her said, hey, Kamala, it's your turn. And you don't have a choice. You are running for president. And also they called everybody else and said, hey, we're not doing a primary. It's Kamala Harris's turn. She's the one that's going to run for president and we're all going to get behind her. That's exactly what happened. It's like there's some forces above Kamala Harris, above Joe Biden, above everybody. Maybe it's the Obamas, whoever you want to assume it is, that is making these calls. And there's probably that's the case on the Republican side as well, but it seems to be way more prominent on the Democrat side. At least they all fall in line a whole lot better on the Democrat side because there's a ton of Republicans who criticize Donald Trump, a ton of them, and that they use that as ammo against him all the time. Oh, your own staff called you Hitler and all this. They say that all the time. There's not many Democrats out there until they lost that were criticizing Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. When they lost, everybody started criticizing them and say, oh, they were a bad candidate all along. We've been telling you this. No, you haven't. You haven't said a single negative thing about Joe Biden or Kamala Harris this entire time. Like, The View is literally a propaganda machine for these people. And now that they lost, Now they're saying that there's some things wrong. Now Whoopi Goldberg is going after a co-host for trying to defend Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. It's crazy what's happening over there. And you look at also the politicians like Gavin Newsom. He'll never criticize Kamala Harris or Joe Biden. Like none of these people will. And they probably would have had a better chance of winning if they ran Gavin Newsom. So there's 100% somebody or a group of people on both sides who are really pulling the strings behind the scenes on these things. It seems to be a lot more prominent on the Democrat side, or at the very least, they fall in line a lot better over there.
Okay, so, Clyburn helps him get through South Carolina. He ultimately goes to the Democratic nomination. He's the Democratic nominee for the president. He ultimately wins the election. There was supposed to be a red wave in 2022 in the midterms. The Republicans didn't pull that off. And Biden is feeling himself and saying, I ain't going anywhere. I'm not going to. I told y'all I was going to be a transitional president. I told y'all I was going to be a one-term dude. I'm just here as a stopgap to pave the way for the future of the Democratic Party. And then all of a sudden, he in office takes that power.
He was a veritable John the Baptist. Just the guy who goes before.
Come on, bro.
Absolutely.
Bill, the point is that your ass was going to be 82 years old in the White House. Come on now. And then I'll never forget this. Bill, I swear to you, I love your show, Real Time. I'm a huge fan. I watch it every chance I get. I have never.
No, real fans watch it every week. You watch it every chance you get. I'm just fucking with you.
That's because I got multiple jobs. But here's the deal, Bill. But I TiVo it. I tell you that much. The DVR it, rather.
TiVo.
That's TiVo, DVR.
I'm going to send you a telegram about that.
You told him myself. Here's the deal, man. I have never wanted to be on your show more than I wanted to be on your show when Biden announced that he was going to run for re-election. Because I'm like this, what y'all going to say now? This is some straight bullshit. You got a situation where you won the midterm. You denied.
If you enjoy content like this, then make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out a ton. Let's get back to the video.
You halted on, you warded off the red wave. And you, knowing you're going to be 81 at election time, knowing you're going to be 82 in office, right? It wasn't the midterm. It was when the State of the Union address took place. And I saw these people. Remember, the liberals, so when you call yourself progressives.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're looking forward with a dude that's going to be 82 and would leave office when he's 86. Really, y'all? I'm sitting there like, you got to be shitting me. This is what you're talking about? And I'm like, I knew I wasn't voting for Trump. I knew that wasn't going to happen. But I was saying to myself, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? And then I looked at their bullpen, and they had no one. They had no one. They had no one that could compete with Donald Trump.
Well, not on a charisma level.
Fair. Okay, fair enough.
No,
but charisma is what gets you votes, bro.
Absolutely. And I've said
not on a policy level either. And what is one policy that Kamala Harris had? Like, I keep saying it over and over again, but it actually is mind-blowing that they keep spreading this lie that, yeah, the Democrats might have lost because of Donald Trump's charisma, but they had the greatest policies on their side. Like, no, they didn't. The main policy that Kamala Harris ran on was baby murder. Like, yeah, that's it. Like, she ran on the abortion one, which is a disgusting policy to run on. It's evil. It's, like I said before, I'll say it again. It's one thing to be pro-choice. It's one thing to run on being a pro-choice, candidate and saying that that's one of your policies that you support. It's honestly one of Donald Trump's policies. Like, I think I view Donald Trump as a pro-choice president, even though he's viewed as this person who's going to abolish abortion nationwide. He said a million times he would never sign off on a bill if it came to his desk to ban abortion nationwide. That's pro-choice if I've ever seen one. But regardless, Kamala Harris is not. She's not just another pro-choice candidate. The only policy that I knew of hers, and I do this every single day. I record these videos, so I'm pretty tapped in, is that she supported abortion very hard. Like, that was her main policy position that she ran on, which I view as pretty damn evil. And if that's your only policy, like Donald Trump had all these things, we have a ton of things that the Republicans actually want to change. The crime, the immigration, the economy, so many different things, man. The foreign policy. Democrats had none of those things. So what, like, you're saying, yeah, Donald Trump was a better candidate charisma-wise. Okay, give me an example of something that Donald Trump wasn't a better candidate in outside of charisma. What did Kamala Harris have him beat in?
I said it a million times. Insanity photographs. Mm-hmm. It really does. I mean, it's charismatic. But I have so many things that I must contend here with.
Sure.
One, One, you're an ageist. There are people who are completely crackling right at 82. So
No, I don't
it's
feel I'm
always
an
a case.
ageist.
It's always a case by case basis.
Right, yeah. Nancy Pelosi don't have the problems that Biden have. I'm very supportive of Nancy, in terms of Nancy Pelosi, in terms of how sharp she is. I'm not.
Well,
I don't believe I'm an ageist.
Nancy Pelosi has lost a step in public, also, to be perfectly honest. But the job is never what you do in public. The job is done in the Oval Office.
Okay.
All you have to do is be. I never thought Biden couldn't do the job. The job is actually sitting in the Oval Office making decisions. He's not crazy. He hasn't lost his mind. He's not senile. He just can't do the public part. He never could do it well.
That's not true at all. Joe Biden was actually pretty sharp and well-spoken. If you look at his older debates, and they're not even that old ago, like 8-10 years ago, he's very sharp. He's very a very good communicator. I don't even, like, is it even worth it to try and dispute what the guy just said? That's so ridiculous. It's one thing if the guy is like a PR nightmare, he says some crazy stuff, like grab her by the, that type of stuff. That's how you're bad at doing the public part of being a president. If you say crazy stuff like that. If you can't formulate a complete sentence because your brain doesn't function anymore, that's not you just being bad at the public part of being a president. That's your brain not functioning anymore. And if your brain doesn't function outside of the Oval Office, it's probably not going to function inside of it either. So what the hell is Bill Maher even? I can't grasp the mental gymnastics that these people play. If the guy's brain doesn't function when he's talking to people in public, his brain probably doesn't magically turn on when he goes inside of the Oval Office, unless they have some magical machine in there. It's probably not how it's working, right?
And add the age thing, and you're going to get things like "I killed Medicare" or whatever the fuck he said. By the way, Trump, no one has been harder on Trump or more against Trump, blah, blah, blah. I don't have to establish my credentials. But he does do things once in a while that either make me genuinely laugh or make me genuinely go, "Oh, that's good." Yes. Like when he said in that debate, he had a moment where he went, I don't know what he said.
Exactly.
And I don't think
there.
And I don't think he knows
I don't think he knows what he said. I mean, we crack it up.
That's what people love about him.
Yes.
It's like he's crazy, but crazy people don't have the time to pretend about shit. That's why he can.
I don't think he's. I reject the notion that Donald Trump is crazy, and I'm not some huge Trump supporter or anything like that. Like, obviously, I thought he was I'm super glad he won the last election. I thought he was the best candidate by far. Not some crazy Trump supporter. I don't think he's hard enough on the abortion topic, and there's a ton of things we can go over. Regardless, I don't think Donald Trump's crazy at all. I think he's just a normal person. He's not a robot. He's not like Barack Obama PR machine where he's just a robot. He's an actual person, and he lets that actual personality come through versus being just a robot that American politicians are expected to be. He's not a normal politician. He's a real person. I think that's seen as crazy, but I just don't get it. Like, if Bill Maher is deemed crazy then because he says some wild things, and I don't even mean politically, just in general. He says way more wild things than Donald Trump says. I know that we're supposed to hold our presidents to a higher standard than comedians, but I don't think he's crazy just because he's a normal person. You could say that he's not the best at the public relations part of being a president. That's different from being crazy, though. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about Stephen A. Smith having to just feed red pill after red pill to Bill Maher here. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about this whole Stephen A. Smith versus Bill Maher situation.